We're Not Wizards Tales from the Blog board game review Megacity Oceania by Hub Games. The entire structure moves at a slow pace, like an iceberg, but the ice is replaced with glass in concrete pieces. Unlike an iceberg, there's nothing underneath to catch an unexpected ship except a cardboard tile, and beneath that, the warm brown varnish of a dining room table. The finger controlling the move stutters slightly, as if the varnish underneath has an imperfection which is stopping the traversal to the final destination. Some things should be wiped up after dinner. There's a slight wobble, as one of the asymmetrical pieces is no longer sure if it wants to be part of this table journey. Doubt turns to fear, and the piece commits to leaving in the cascade, taking other pieces in the structure with it. A curse word sits on the lips of the owner of the finger, but the company across the table is likely to take uttered bad words to the person in the next room. And we do not want that happening. We do not want that happening. Megacity Oceania from Hub Games demands you touch the components before you even pick up the rulebook. It pretty much shouts at you to unpunch some of the hexagonal tiles out of the cardboard sheets, so that regardless of the colour and the building type that you're meant to be building, you can get to work grabbing random building pieces from the cloth bag. The aim is to have you commencing construction of your own imaginary superstructure on the Gold Coast of Australia. What you have here, it's not a collection of rectangular, regular, dull bricks and straight pieces. This is not Lego with uniform sizes and form. These are the pieces that sat at the back of the class in brick school and spent their time passing notes or finding treasure chewing gum under decks for later consumption. These are the pieces that thought 90 degrees wasn't cool. Unfortunately, these are the pieces that you use to build your structure. So with a mixture of coloured plastic pieces representing glass, concrete and steel, he set about playing and trying to build the most ridiculously huge structures. I dare you to do anything else. Eventually you'll decide to pick up the rulebook and hope that the fun that you're having is not going to be hampered by sentences you find within. Rules can be great, but too many can drown the spark of imagination. But thankfully the aim here is to use your creativity within the boundaries of rules. Contracts demand that you build upon a certain colour of tile, and further set your requirements for materials or height. Others might ask to only use one type of material, or create a tunnel or a courtyard. You pull shapes from the bag, hoping that you can use those that you pull out, though there's a chance to be more selective if you need to. Building the tallest building gains you prestige, and a cute little cardboard structure to remind everybody else around the table how magnificent you are. You take turns, but you never wait to take your turn, as you fiddle and faff with your latest creation in front of you before pushing it out into the flotilla in the centre of the table. At the point where you decide to commit, everyone stops working on their own megastructure in a reverent silence. As with one finger, you take that maiden voyage over the varnish, pushing gently, hoping that things simply won't collapse into disaster. For those times that happens, you go back to the drawing board and attempt to rebuild, maybe without the flight of fancy that was sitting in your head, but with something more stable. Which of course you never do, because what's the point in making something with these pieces in this game if what you're going to deliver is going to be ordinary? There isn't. Stop it now. You know better. Even in disaster where a building falls after delivery, no one's penalised, because we were sure at the time that everything was a total made to the correct standard. Honest governor. When you deliver, you can even add a monument to the park to show how amazing you are at this building lark. It's small points and little by little rather than creating a runaway winner. And it all looks amazing. No matter how unartistic you consider yourself as a person, your structures will look in place with everything that surrounds them. And no two games will ever be in Silmer in terms of how the megacity will turn out. Once the standard contracts have been fulfilled, you might decide to complete the final complicated landmark project before you go on to final scoring. Then you'll be given more prestige based on having the most diverse range of buildings, or the tallest building, or who has built the trickiest building within the category of buildings. What should happen is that you congratulate your winner and then you put the game away and play something else. What normally happens is you continue to play, making bigger buildings, seeing who can make the tallest one, make buildings across hexagons, try to make things balance at silly angles. You'll forget about the rules of the game and remember about the rules of fun instead, which is all about giving someone a pile of irregular pieces and telling them just to crack on. There'll be those that want more complication from Megacity, as the range of contracts on offer are limited to a couple of parameters, and this might leave some wishing there were more challenges to be had in such an unusual game. I'd argue it's a framework on which to build on, and that one of the choices you're given when you play is to decide whether to go for the easy option for points or the trickier way to let your inner architect out to play. It's entirely your choice. We've played it with and without the rules, building towers and laughing at crumbling disasters for no more reason than because it gives us the choice to. And in that respect, Megacity Oceania achieves exactly its intentions of play and in dexterity-based fun. We were provided a copy of Megacity Oceania by Coiled Spring Games, which you can find www.coiledspring.co.uk. Rory O'Connor from Hub Games had guested on the podcast. However, we were not paid for this review. If you like what you've listened to, you can support the show by going to patreon.com/We're Not Wizards. Every little helps. It helps keep the light on and it helps us to grow the show. Thank you very much for listening. Remember, stay safe, roll sixes, make something awful, and goodbye.